2, motherfucking 3. You niggas can't fuck with the M.O.B. 1, 2, motherfucking 3. You niggas can't fuck with the M.O.B. This is get so rock music, bitch. 4-5 rock music, shout music, cocaine rock moving, OG hop abusing niggas like the hustler. I was whipping kick for hours, Taliban dropping towers, hammer man, shout busting young niggas, gun clocking, dropping bombs like test the verb in a cold white vest.
What's good with YouTube? You already know Big Flacco with a convict's perspective, and I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a little bit of energy. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, and do all those things to help support this channel, and hit that bell notification for future fire content. Now, I'm doing a reaction to a video that Renegade Media put out there about a filter that came out from the feds, talking about that they've deemed Conejo no good and DC no good, and that they're trying to have these individuals removed when they hit the feds. Now, it's kind of a shocker to me in some senses, because, you know, anytime there's been certain members of the O that have been called for their expulsion, which means forcing out, which means they've been deemed, right? A lot of times that information is not supposed to be forwarded to other Northerners and then soldados, and you know, because it's supposed to be an NF business, an NF affair. You know, therefore, when you put filters out there, you risk it getting into the hands of, you know, administration. Risk that these individuals get these kites and find out that they're about to be removed. You risk some YouTuber receiving it from somebody for it to be put out there on all these platforms. And that's exactly what happened. So that's the only thing that kind of, when I heard the information, I think back to like the hits on MC and Brown Bob, and, you know, even when Huicho Gonzalez was hit, right, from Sanho, and how it got back to him ahead of time, and how he wrote a kite back to Corny and all them, right, talking about how, why is this information being given to Northerners or Insoldados who only expose it to where it ends up in my, you know, I end up knowing. If I'm NF, I'm supposed to be got the NF way. And that's the first thing that I kind of started to analyze in hearing this information. You know, was this filter for every household, or was this only supposed to go amongst certain carnales? Because even when it's going amongst certain carnales, it's only going to go to those that have basically a leadership role. You know, that's the one thing that kind of like took me aback. Now, I've seen filters be put out there about certain cities being put on freeze. You know, in 2002, Conejo put out a filter on Wino from Oakland and Carlitos from Sanjo, putting them on freeze, right? But that wasn't a filter saying that they've been deemed and, you know, haven't hit. The only thing about that filter it did say was that, you know, as a Northern Norteño, you have the blessings of the O to fucking stand up to these individuals if they decide to fucking refuse to acknowledge an order. And I remember what was people were talking about was that this could get a lot of Northerners and Insoldados caught up in basically NF business. And that's the first thing that I took in from this kite is like, why would they even put this fucking out there like that? And it just didn't make sense to me personally. Me knowing how things operate, me knowing how directives are supposed to be sent out, and me knowing that this is a fucking upper echelon fucking issue, you know, I question like, why would this even be put out there? You know, I mean, I've seen kites where they say this person's been freezed and woo, 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 right? But see, the last fucking 10 years, they've been having kites where they put a lot of information out there for other individuals to fucking basically fucking read on their business. You know, from the truth filter to the state's response to the state, you know, deeming fucking Corny and Skip at one time to, you know, then clearing them. It's become basically one clusterfuck of people just fucking campaigning and bringing other people into business dealings that has nothing to do with NF affairs. I mean, let's just keep it real, man. NF business is NF business, and it's not supposed to involve Northerners or Soldados. And, you know, Renegade's 100% right. It could put an soldado in a cross because they don't know what leadership they're supposed to follow when they get to an institution. They fall in rank and file. And if there's someone there that's claiming a seat, how can you go against his authority? But then at the same token, how do you know that he's under the right authority? You see, it becomes a fucking big old fucking mess. And I've said that from the day one about all this state fed fucking affairs, right? That why are Northerners and Soldados being involved in this? It should be an issue amongst the fucking O. It should be the O's business. It should be those that are holding leadership roles within the O. Let them work their shit out. Let soldados arrive and do whatever they're supposed to do in any household they're supposed to fucking function in. You know, the filter went even into saying an individual was getting out of a prison that just got pulled, Oakdale, right? Saying that he was supposed to have a certain jurisdiction of an area when he got out. Why would that be presented to just anybody in a filter that's supposed to go to everybody? You see what I'm saying? There's just a lot of things that are red flags that I don't know if that filter was for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I did a little bit of cross checking. Not anybody I know has received this filter. So maybe this filter was only for those that have a leadership position. You know what I'm saying? Because I reached out to those that would receive this filter. You know what I mean? That they would be privileged to receive it. Um, if it was a filter just for fucking regular business. But this may be a filter just amongst certain NF members, and you know what I mean. It may have got breached. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's if you want to have someone hit, right, and you're trying to wait to take care of business, you're not going to want to put that out there on paper because administration is eventually going to get it, and they're going to keep them as keepaways from everybody else because they're going to think there's a target on their back, and that's exactly what's going to happen here with these individuals. They've been in that water, as we know. There's no soldados on that yard at this facility, as they're still going to court too, as well. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of hard for a filter like that to go out there saying that they're going to deal with these guys. First chance that they get when they hit the feds, be prepared. We're prepared for them. But I mean, all you're doing is tipping off administration and you're tipping off basically these dudes because by now you already know they've already heard about what's being alleged. You know what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate thing about the whole situation from the get go is you're involving regular fucking individuals who have no fucking voice or shouldn't have no opinion upon individuals who have had a long outstanding careers. You know what I'm saying? Well, can't say outstanding, but they've had long careers, some of them. You know what I mean? Now, Conejo's been under question for a lot of fucking shit for fucking years, man. And his actions since he was on the main line, like I said, there was a lot of people on the main line when he was in Salinas Valley who didn't even want to fuck with him, I heard, man. You know what I'm saying? And just that was just his whole get down. He kept to him fucking self, except for if it was fucking business. DC, on the other hand, too, kind of had a similar type of approach. If you didn't have like 10 years as a fucking C, he wouldn't even talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was a need to fucking basis. But other than that, he wasn't talking to no Northerners or nobody on that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, in hearing the details of the filter, it just makes me question, like, okay, what's really going on here? You know what I'm saying? Was this a filter that was for everybody, or was this a filter just for certain members within NF leadership? Because it's all it's going to do, like I said, it's going to breach security. So usually they'll put out some filters, like I said, right, of changes of what's going on, of where the authority is, what the policy is, and you know what? If it gets fucking breached, they don't want to get breached, but if it is, it's not going to be no fucking major thing that's gonna fucking tip the scales one way or another, or they're not putting out what their intentions are. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the truth filter, they were calling for fucking these individuals to be held up on charges, but they weren't calling them to be fucking basically expelled from the organization yet. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, I just out of common sense, right? It just doesn't add up to me personally. Like what is the thinking process behind these filters? Um, and I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it went anywhere else. So, like I said, there may be more to these filters than I know. This may have been filters that just was amongst certain NF members. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's more to it. I don't know. Like I said, but those are the first questions I asked because even in all this fucking turmoil, all this conflict over the last 10 years, basically, right? Mainly the last fucking 5 years, right? You still haven't heard them talk about they're waiting for this to happen and handle issues and this and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And even in the last filter that came from the state, allegedly all these individuals were cleared. And there was another filter that had came out. There was two identical filters that came out that were similar from the state and feds at that time, right? talking about certain individuals were cleared, and there was going to be no issues, and that the state was going to do this and the feds were going to do this. So this just changed within what, 2 months, and I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to wrap my heads around the details of what I heard from his video. You know what I'm saying, which was a good video. It had a lot of details to it, right? But I'm just questioning, okay, what's really going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, he had some questions of it didn't make sense to him, and see, to me, it's making even less sense because, like I said, when have you ever heard really a filter coming out? You know what I'm saying? Well, this person needs to get got when we get them. That's basically exposing NF business to everybody if it comes out on a filter. You know what I'm saying? When individuals got hit in the past, it wasn't forwarded to everybody. It wasn't known to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was only known to those that maybe in their household that individual fucking, rolled up, or to those that were in leadership positions. You know what I'm saying? It makes me presume, right? Or actually assume that maybe there's two different reasons why this filter was either out there. Either one, they wanted that information to get fucking breached for some reason, right? Or two, maybe that filter was put out there to see who the breaches of security, to see where it comes out from. They've done that in the past where they've given different people information, right? To see where it fucking comes out on fucking see where it comes out from, where the leak is at. Those are some potential things that I'm thinking that maybe the reasons why this filter was fucking put out there, um, to maybe this, to individuals. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of things that are red flags for me personally when I see it. But then again, it's 2023 and things have changed. What they were doing 20, 15, 10 years ago, they're not doing no longer today. And it's all been about campaigning. Campaigning. You know, um, which side is right, which side is wrong. And even putting out there that someone's going to be taking over a territory, you just breached that man's security if that was put on a filter. You know, um, what I'm saying? That's kind of like I said. That's why I think maybe this filter either was for selective eyes only. It's potentially what I'm thinking. Because if you put all this in a household filter for everybody in the streets and prison and whatnot, man, like I said, there was a lot of details that Renegade had said that was in this filter, and one of them was a person that's had territory. Now, there's been seasons that have came out since the last fucking 10 years that have came out to the streets from the feds, right? So, what's the different energy that they have with those individuals coming out than before? You know, um, I know a couple people who have stepped out who were in the feds and this and that. You know what I'm saying? That are out there on the streets. And so it just makes a lot of questions as far as what's really going on with this whole scenario. You know what I mean? And the O is they're very fucking sharp. Like I said, man, they're not no fucking dummies. So things are sometimes done deliberately for a reason. Everything that they do has a fucking purpose. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, like I said, I'm trying to wrap my heads what the whole focal point of them doing this is, man. It just, to me, I'm questioning what their agenda is here, because this isn't. If it was just them just fucking exposing information in a filter and just putting out certain shit and letting it be for every fucking person's eyes, they would have to know that fucking kite's gonna eventually fucking end up in fucking IGI administration or YouTube's hands. Let's just be real about it. So that's the whole thing that I'm having a fucking hard time fucking trying to fucking understand. And basically, I'm looking at like, well, what's really changed from all the rumblings and rumors and whatnot. The one thing that I noticed that's different as opposed to, like, let's say 15 years ago, 60 years ago when I was actively in the mix, is that now there's certain information that's being forwarded and provided just to everybody as opposed to just certain individuals. Sometimes certain filters would only come out, they would apply to those that may be in that region or those that they knew that were NF associates as on top of NF members. See, there's NF filters as well that just go for NF members they're not for the eyes of any Norteño Soldado or Northerner, But these filters that we keep on hearing about are basically for everybody. And this one is the only one that I've seen where there's been really a call for certain actions. You know. Anyways, this is pretty much my reaction to the filter, man. Like I said, man, there's been a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of conflict. There's been a lot of things that are just not really um, the way of which I understood the O to function and operate. The last 15 years. I don't know if the change of status as far as them being in different facilities, lockdown, or them just trying to, barely figuring things out. If that's played a big role in this, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that they have an issue with the end all hostilities because in the feds they're all separated. You know what I'm saying? They basically went to war and put themselves on their own yards because of going to war. And I think that a lot of the things that we've said, like I said, from a standpoint on YouTube, right, from time to time, I think a lot of that would be basically the federal stance as well. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that, I've voiced my opinion on, what I've seen, what I believe the true ideologies are about. You know what I'm saying? And it's all lines up with what each individual believes in. You know what I'm saying? Do you believe in what the state is trying to promote or what the Fed's trying to promote? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it depends where your heart is in all this, what your beliefs are, what you're trying to pursue, But back to these filters. Like I said, man, there's a lot of fucking red flags for me. You know what I'm saying? And it just, to me, it makes no sense that and I don't try to weigh my opinion because my opinion is just my opinion. Usually when I hear stuff, I just give opinions on what other people put out. If it's current, and since this was put out there, I'm going to give my opinion. It's hard to wrap my head around what's really going on, man. I would just say that. And like I said before, the C facility and D facility, the D facility dilemmas, excuse me, really showed the gente that they had to fucking keep it NF biz, insulal biz. You got to separate the two, man. But because we're in a situation where people are campaigning, it's forced certain individuals to get involved or to be aware of what's going on because they're campaigning. They're trying to recruit for your position. It's like, in order to get the backing, right? What do you need? You need the backing of your people. Therefore, a lot more stuff is being put out there to try to get people to fucking fall under one umbrella and one umbrella only. Anyways, this is just my opinion, my reaction, man. Shouts out to Renegade Media. With that said, it's your boy Flacco from a convict's perspective. I'm gone.
Block movement, MOB, I'm stamped approved. If you want the static, about to let this beast loose. Picking up work, kickstands in the birdie. Pushing leave it as a Chris, breaking down the wide girly. Workers for the team, running out of product early.